In an effort to bring awareness to the seriousness of brain injuries, the Ontario Brain Injury Association is holding a two-day conference to discuss these prevailing issues.
The prevalence of brain injury is something that the general public I don't think is really aware of. There are almost 500,000 people living in Ontario with a brain injury, and 18,000 more people will be added to this number this year alone. Brain injury is 15 times more common than spinal cord injury, it is 30 times more common than breast cancer, and it is 400 times more common than HIV/AIDS. And on top of this, brain injury is the #1 leading cause of death and disability for those under the age of 45. This again is something that the general public is not necessarily aware of. So our goal is obviously to bring awareness to the prevalence of brain injury.
Can you briefly expand on how serious brain trauma can be and the many consequences that may occur thereafter?
Acquired brain injury can significantly affect a family dynamic. Many families break up after an injury. Folks lose their contacts, their friends, they can lose their jobs as well, their ability to function within a social context. So every aspect of a person's life can be changed dramatically once they've sustained an injury.
With health officials coming in from across the province, one of the conference's keynote speakers was practicing Toronto neurosurgeon Dr. Neelank Jha.
We now definitively know that the short-term impacts of concussion are headaches, ongoing nausea, vomiting, cognitive decline, kids failing out of school, relationships breaking up. And we know the long-term consequences are Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS. Anybody in this day and age who discounts concussions, I give the example of the tobacco industry. There was a time when the tobacco industry would make claims that smoking did not cause lung cancer. That claim is as ridiculous as claiming that concussions are not serious.
Dr. Jha, how do you see the current state of concussion management?
It's very challenging. If you take, for example, Kevin Ware, the NCAA player who fractured his right tibia, and this was national news, went on social media, it was viral all over the world. He had an open fracture. 7 months later, he's playing again. Just last week, he's back on the court, took his first shot, scored a couple points. We take that seriously because we can see an open fracture. We can see it on an x-ray. However, with traumatic brain injury, take the example of Sidney Crosby. 2 concussions over the course of 5 days, was out for 62 games. That was just local news at a national level that didn't carry very far. The idea is we don't take brain injury seriously. It's because we can't see it. We can't blame anybody for that. And that's really what I'm here to speak about today. You know, what I tell people wherever I go and travel and speak is that concussions are as serious as a heart attack or stroke, and if poorly managed may result in irreversible brain damage.
Understanding brain injury is a critical issue that is all too often overlooked, but OBIA is continuing on its mission to educate Canadians on the issues concerning brain trauma. In Niagara Falls, reporting for The Source, I'm Karen LeConte.